Cowabunga dudes and dudettes, this is Anthony, aka BatBomb82, and I have COVID, so if I sound crappy, it's because I feel crappy. But I still wanted to get this video out to you guys, talking about the new Mezco 112 collective, Doc Ock, so let's take a look. So again, just bear with me as I go through this, because I do feel like I'm dying, but I promise I'm okay. But the head sculpts that I'm seeing here with this figure look pretty incredible. Just a very much classic form of Dr. Octavius here. Those giant, ridiculous glasses, that almost Beatles-like bowl haircut just look really good, and just the different expressions that we're seeing here do look very, very nice. One thing I will say that stood out and is standing out to a lot of people is going to be the body shape, the whole build of this figure. I think a lot more people were expecting to be his, his fatter version, his more larger, huskier, fluffier version of Doc Ock, which I understand, but that is not the classic Silver Age Doc Ock that they're going with this aesthetic. Clearly they're doing this more classic first appearance type comic book look, which I totally get. Now, that doesn't necessarily work for me. I personally would have preferred the more huskier version of Doc Ock. That's my favorite look for this character. So he does look a little out of proportions when it comes to that, and in turn it does make the head look a little bigger, especially with that type of haircut. So I just wish he was a little bit more of a chunkier figure, you know what I mean? But again, the head sculpts do look great. The proportions, I think, are throwing a lot of people off. Now, one thing that I think is going to help when it comes to the look and the thickness of this character is going to be this included lab coat that he comes with. I think that looks fantastic. This pick right here does make the figure look a lot better. It makes him look a little wider, so I think that's definitely going to help the proportions quite a bit. So I do love that look. Now, one major thing that stood out to me when I was looking at all these photos is those tentacled arms. These look great, and I'll show you exactly what we do get as far as accessories come a little later. But seeing all these different pictures and poses fighting that classic Spider-Man figure we just got not that long ago is really cool, because as we can see, these tentacles do seem to be with a bendy wire, which is really nice, and you can see all these different types of poses and angles that you can get with those arms. That is something that I really, really like. I am seeing that with these longer tentacles that they, again, are very bendy, but I'm hoping that the gauge of wire that they use in these bendable arms is strong enough and sturdy enough so when you pop all legs down, they could hold the figure up like floating off the ground. I think that'll be very cool, so I think that'll work. Mezco doesn't tend to cheap out when it comes to stuff like that, so hopefully that's the idea here. But I just love the fact that we're getting these posable arms and not just static pieces, which would piss off people even more, even people like me, but I love it. I love everything that we're getting here. So now, breaking all the things that Doc Ock comes with here, I feel like this image specifically, where we're seeing Doc Ock vanilla posed, is what's really throwing off the proportions for a lot of people. Again, he just doesn't look as chunky as I know a lot of people would have liked, and the head sculpt does look fairly large, especially with that, thicker type of haircut. But the tentacles and all that look really nice. The esophagus look pretty decent as well. We can see that he does come with the circular base stand and the clear articulated arm. We get a bunch of interchangeable hands, which is really nice. But I think my favorite things are definitely going to be those head sculpts. I think these are just absolutely fantastic, giving us different expressions, those ridiculous glasses and that bowl haircut. Again, yeah, just very vintage Doc Ock. I love that vibe, but everything else just looks a little weird with the character, but those head sculpts are pretty incredible. Now, easily the most important accessories for Doc Ock are going to be his different interchangeable tentacles, which are really cool because as you can see, we're getting different lengths. So you have some short ones, some medium ones, and some very long ones. And I'm assuming all of these are going to have bendy wire, which is really nice. So especially those extra long ones, I feel like those are going to be the ones that you could pose to make it look like he's hovering over the floor with all 4 tentacles down on the ground. But it's also interesting that they're giving us interchangeable clawed hands for those tentacles instead of just making the claws like open and close. So that's pretty cool. I mean, it'll give you more sturdier hands to maybe hold something with those clawed arms if you want to, so that's really nice. So it's really cool that they're giving us even those extra interchangeable hands in that regard. If the figure itself doesn't come with a lot of interchangeable hands, the tentacles come with a ton of interchangeable hands. Now the final accessory that we're going to get is this lab coat, which I think looks awesome. I do love the fact that it has the slots in the back so you can still plug the tentacles into the figure and then the claws can, or the tentacles can come out through the back of the coat, which I think that's really nice. I think it's also going to very much help with the proportions and the overall thickness look of this character, which I think, again, a lot of people are having problems with, which I totally understand. I'm right there with you, but I think with the coat added, it gives this character an amazing look, so I'm really super stoked that they included that. So there it is, guys, the full reveal of the Mezco 112 Collective Doc Ock. Now, what do you guys think of this figure? Feel free to let me know in the comments, and feel free to be honest. I like these Silver Age designs that they're doing for a lot of characters. I think they work in a lot of ways. But I'm also super aware that they are not going to be for everyone. Not everyone loves that classic aesthetic. At some point down the road, I do hope we get a more modern take, a more chunkier take with a Mezco-fied look for this line. I think that would be incredible. More high-tech looking tentacles would be great. But this is what we're getting right now, and I think it works for this specific design and era that they're going for. Now, the price is roughly around $120, you know, give or take where you pick it up from. That's pretty pricey, and I don't necessarily see the value there. I'm not saying it's not there, but I'm just saying I think this should have come with more. I think it personally could have come with some type of like lab equipment. I think that would have been very cool. Just a little something extra to build out some type of dio, you know, since he does work in a lab quite a bit to create this technology. I think it would have been cool to have some type of maybe test samples of tentacles and tech and something like that. I think would have really added to the value and would have really helped push that price point. But again, feel free to let me know what you think. Are you picking this up? Are you passing? Are you just waiting for it to go on discount or something? Who knows? I don't know. But I will still definitely have a review out once this is released. So feel free to be excellent to each other and stay nerdy, my friends. Peace.